The weigh-in for the title bout took place this morning at a Sheffield hotel. Bomber immediately helped to even the odds by conceding just £0.5 pound to the champion.
It's 11.5
Quarter.
Yeah.
All right, Bob? Yeah.
Herol Bomber Graham, 11 stone, 5¼ pound.
Kalule, 6 years older than Graham at 32, was nearer the 11 stone 6 limit.
Ayub Kalule, 11 stone, 5¾ pound.
Bomber's aim tonight is becoming Britain's 6th current European champion. Well, later in the programme, we'll be taking a closer look at the two boxers and how the two men who, in 3 hours' time, will thrash it out for the European middleweight title. First, the champion, Ayub Kalule, a Ugandan now based in Denmark. He's had 48 fights, many against the best in the world. He's won 45 of those contests and has a pretty impressive record of knockouts. 21 of his opponents have been counted out, and he's only lost 3 times, and 2 of those were for world championships. Sheffield challenger Graham has 34 fights, and he's won all of them, but it must be said not against the same sort of opposition. Recently, he's proved he's got a punch as well as skill. He's put 14 of his opponents on the floor, and 3 others couldn't last the distance against him. Now then, just before we join, Harry, let's meet the two fighters and have a look at some of Bomber Graham's victories.
But he's under heavy fire again. This is the second round, and it might not go much further. Oh, and he hits his head on the canvas. As you look at him, he's beginning to look an old man. And he doesn't know where to go or what to do, and his eyes cut as well now.
How important is this fight to you?
Oh, it's important, very important, because it's like a stepping stone away from the World Championship fights. I mean, 12 months, 14 months away, I'll probably be world champion, or will be world champion.
You're that confident, are you?
Oh yeah, you've got to be confident in this game. If you're not confident, it's no use being in the sport at all.
But isn't this guy the most dangerous opponent you've ever met?
Very dangerous, yeah. I mean, I've seen tapes and all that. I mean, I've sparred with him, and like I know he's very dangerous, very durable. He'll go all the way, and it'll be a very good fight.
He's unbeaten, he's got a tremendous reputation as a boxer. How would you describe your own fighting abilities?
Well, I have got skill, and I'm looking forward to see that I demolish him.
I mean, people say I can't punch. I know I can punch. I mean, I've proved it in about 12, 14 fights, and destruction what I've done.
But he's taking a lot of stick, and Larry O'Connell may well have to decide whether to call a halt here. And at last he goes down in the 5th. My word, he did take some punishment there.
Well, it's relatively quiet here at Sheffield City Hall at the moment, but I can tell you this, in about 3 hours' time there'll be over 2,000 fans here rooting for one guy, Herol Bomber Graham. And with me now is his manager, Barney Eastwood, and coach, Brendan Ingle. Barney, can I start with you? Why did you take over Herol Bomber Graham?
Well, I thought he had tremendous potential, and he has more ability than most fighters in this country, and I thought, you know, he should be given the opportunity to go to the top.
Now, he wants a crack at Marvin Hagler. Do you honestly think he's as good as that? Can he hope to fight Marvin Hagler one day?
Well, I think this will be the proof of it tonight. He has trained very hard, and he's had some great preparation for this fight. He's going to have a big viewing audience tonight, maybe 10, 12 million, and he must produce the goods tonight.
There's been an awful lot of toing and froing as to whether the fight would go ahead. Are you just relieved, or will you be relieved in around about 3 hours when the two fighters actually get in this ring and sort it out?
Well, I think it'll all be worthwhile when Graham wins the title and he goes on then for a world title shot maybe within the next 12, 18 months.
Can I move on to Brendan? It's been 65 years, Brendan, since Sheffield has had a European Championship. What does it mean to the city of Sheffield that this is happening tonight?
Well, I think everybody here is behind Errol, and it's give the town a lift after all the redundancy and steel closures here and all the miners' strike and everything else. We're all affected. So Barney's come along here and put his money where his mouth is and got on with the job, which is absolutely fantastic.
People are paying up to £40 for ringside seats here, Barney. That's amazing, really.
It's absolutely fantastic. 40, 30, 20 and 10, and the place is sold out. And BJ, we put some more seats out tonight, haven't we?
Yeah, it's great, yeah.
You know, so it's the people have got out here and supported. With all the doom and gloom, it's going to be a fantastic night here for Sheffield and a fantastic night for Great Britain.
I asked you that question because you're supposed to say 30, Brendan, 30.
Oh, 30. Well, I'm having elocution lessons now, so I'm improving.
Well, let me just come back to you. Yes. A good night and a big night for Herol Graham.
Oh, I think it's a tremendous night for him, and he's getting his chance. It's what he wants. Now, obviously, the people are all very, very excited here in Sheffield. It was terrific today at the weigh-in. So if he can produce the goods tonight, and he must put on a really good performance, then I think that I can bring him to a world title fight with Marvin Hagler within 18 months.
Let's hope so. Barney and Brendan, thank you very much indeed. We look forward to the big fight live on Sports Night later tonight.
Graham in his hometown challenging the holder Ayub Kalule. At ringside, the former world middleweight champion Alan Minter with Harry Carpenter.
And a capacity 2,500 crowd here in the City Hall, Sheffield. Snow outside, but it's hot in here. The atmosphere is intense. The two boxers are gloved up and ready to go for this European middleweight title. Our MC is Nat Bassett.
Gentlemen, please. My lords, ladies and gentlemen, BJ Eastwood and Mike Barrett proudly present the main event of the evening. 12 rounds boxing of 3 minutes each round at 11 stone 6 pounds for the middleweight championship of Europe. Between and introducing you, defending his title, the middleweight champion of Europe from Copenhagen, Ayub Kalule. And in this corner from Sheffield, the challenger, the middleweight champion of Great Britain, your officials for this contest appointed by the EPU, your referee, Edmund Hall of France, Judge Godwin of Belgium, and Judge Angelo Peretti of Italy, your timekeeper, Mr. Alan Smith of Sheffield, and your student charge, Mr. Alan Simpson of Leeds. Thank you.
Let's make no mistake. Herol Graham has got a big job on his hands here tonight because Kalule at 32 is an extraordinary fighter. Here's Graham, 26. They're both southpaws. Graham, of course, originally from Nottingham and now a Sheffield man. Just about everybody in this City Hall on his side tonight. Edmund Horn of France is the referee. 12 rounds or less for the European middleweight title. Kalule coming from the right. Former world champion. A pair of southpaws. Two men who have shown very similar styles throughout their career, not only being southpaws, but both crafty boxers and both clever counter-punchers. This is going to be some battle of wits between these two. Graham, as you can see, the taller man, He stands about 5'11". He's probably got about 3 inches on Kalule here. Ayub Kalule, formerly from Uganda and now a naturalized Danish citizen. Former world light middleweight champion, former world amateur champion, Commonwealth Games champion. Extraordinary record. He's had 7 world title fights, Kalule. He's only lost 3 times in 49 fights. Each time he's lost to a world champion. Against that, Bomber Graham pits an unbeaten professional record. 34 fights, 34 wins. It would be surprising if we see early fireworks. I suspect these two are going to just test each other out a bit. Graham, certainly the most clever defensive boxer in Britain. And scoring neatly as he goes backwards. He's got the reach. Not only the European title at stake, of course, this is most certainly an eliminator for the world title in the hands of the fearsome Marvin Hagler. Good scoring by Graham. Interesting opening round. Kalule has hardly been able to get to him. Most of his punches falling short, and Graham coolly picking him off. Well, that was a useful opening round. Nice warming up round for Herol Graham. 32-year-old Kalule, 26-year-old Graham. Kalule won 36 fights in a row as a professional. The first man who defeated him was none other than Sugar Ray Leonard in a world title fight. Graham is certainly making a good start. Kalule's style suits him down to the ground. Kalule's coming forward, and Graham will like that. Graham stepping up the pace, doing all the scoring. Kalule is certainly going to have to chase and work hard, unless he decides to go backwards and let Graham come to him. The superior reach of Graham is paying great dividends at the moment. He's able to pick the man off without Kalule ever getting within striking range. Good punches. And Graham is quite capable of stopping men. He's stopped quite a number. Good combination. But Kalule taking these punches and taking them coolly, as you would expect from a man of his experience who's been in with the best in the world. And Sheffield already beginning to get a bit joyful about this, but it's early days, and I suggest caution. Kalule is an old hand. Just one side at the end of that round. A little danger for Graham. Kalule came up with a quick punch, and Graham just about saw it in time. Kalule's record, and each one to a world champion. Sugar Ray Leonard, Davey Moore and Michael McCallum. Tremendous record. Well, the winner here will certainly be looking for a chance at the world middleweight title, and sitting alongside me is a man who held that very title, Alan Minter. This man Kalule, obviously, Alan, tough opponent.
Very tough opponent, very, very experienced opponent. He's been around a long time. We've got some great fighters. I mean, the only guys to beat this man was the likes of the great Sugar Ray Leonard and another two light middleweights. So he's been around it a bit, and he's had bags and bags of experience. But
and Graham's had 2 good rounds. We must wait and see what Kalule does about it. So Graham uses his reach, uses this wonderful, crafty counter-punching. Must take no chances. Very little in it between them on the on the weight side of the weigh-in today at 1 o'clock. Bomber Graham was 11.5 1/4, so he's just half a pound lighter than the champion. This is Kalule's second defence of this European title. He won it last June by forcing Pierre Joly of France to retire in 8 rounds. Joly had had enough at 8 rounds. He turned his back on Kalule, and that was that. He retired once, a couple of years ago, Kalule, but he's won all his fights in his comeback. He's already beaten 5 opponents from Great Britain, including Kevin Finnegan. Graham is an extraordinary fighter. Oh, that's a slip. As I was saying, Graham's an extraordinary fighter. He languished up here in the north for a long time at the start of his pro career. London wasn't interested in him at all, although he was winning his fights. He was considered to be a negative fighter. And finally he was brought to London, and he put on 1 or 2 spectacular shows in London. And suddenly London took an interest in him. And rightly so. Well, you wouldn't, if you came in not knowing who these two were, and somebody said to you, which one is the champion, you'd be inclined to put your money on Graham, I think. So another useful, not spectacular, but a useful round for Graham. Kalule very slow to come up corner, having some water wiped away from him. Monsieur Horn, the French referee. There are 2 judges one from Belgium, and another from Italy. All three men, referee and judges, will score if it goes the distance after 12 rounds. £40 ringside seats cost here tonight. Not only the reach of Graham, but the speed of his punching is bamboozling Kalule at the moment. And Kalule's hardly made a good move yet. Can't get near him. But he's still plodding forward. Must be frustrating fighting Graham. He's a will-o'-the-wisp, never there when you want him. Seen Kalule throw a left hand yet, I don't think. I wonder what would happen if Kalule decided to switch tactics and let Graham come to him. Graham was certainly threatening to sweep him away. Here's the first attack from Kalule. First time he's looked dangerous. Kalule chasing a little harder now.
Fought 7 world champions for nothing.
Right. Again, the Kalule camp a bit slow to get their men out to the centre. So 4 rounds completed with, on my card anyway, Graham well in front. Nice lead. I would have thought he was 4 rounds up at this point. That's going to take some pulling back. There's a sign of danger again, that right hand from Kalule. Born in Kampala in Uganda. Left there, like a lot of Ugandan fighters did during the Idi Amin reign, and decided to make his home for good in Denmark. Cornelius Poser Edwards did the same thing, well, at least he did the same thing by getting out of Uganda and came to live in Britain. To remember that Kalule is 32 years old, and this is his second span of life, as it were, in the ring. And although they're not tremendously damaging, these punches, he's taking a lot of them, and they must eventually take some sort of toll. The danger here might just be if Graham forgets that the man's got a left. Good punch, good left of his own from Graham there, and I thought Kalule staggered a little bit under that one. And he's certainly staggering now. Round 5. Tough old campaigner, this Kalule, still coming forward. Well, this is certainly one-way traffic, and it's going Graham's way. Long way in front now after 5 rounds. So this corner now must be beginning to feel very, very confident indeed that the European title will come their way. Graham, of course, has recently changed hands, as it were. The man looking into his face is Brent Lingle, his former manager. But he recently put himself in the hands of Barney Eastwood, the manager of Barry McGuigan. And this is Barney looking through the ropes at him now. Barney Eastwood, who took Barry McGuigan to a world title and hopes to do the same with Bomber Graham. Well, Graham put together a few good punches here that took him a few steps closer to the European title. Kalule didn't know where he was at this stage, all over the shop. The defences were down, but Graham couldn't find a killing punch. Kalule very, very slow to come out of the corner, almost reluctantly. And immediately under fire. Well, there can't have been too many fights this man has had where he's taken so many punches without really offering much in return. Kalule's 50th professional fight. Only 3 defeats. Been stopped each time. Nobody's ever beaten him on points. Graham is well on his way to doing that. On paper, this looked like being an extraordinarily difficult fight for Graham. In fact, oddly enough, it's proving anything but so far. That's a good right hand from Graham. Kalule shaken again. He's standing up to this extremely well, but you wonder how much more of it he can take without going. He's done nothing to slow Graham down. Graham's as fresh as when he started.
Got him. Got him.
He is taking a terrible battering around the head now, Kalule. Still coming forward. Well, if he's going to relinquish the title, he's not going to relinquish it easily, that's for sure. Took a terrible battering there for a few seconds. An overwhelming round. That must be the biggest round Graham's had yet. Well, I don't know, Alan. This is. I thought this was going to be a tough fight for Herol, and in fact, it's proving to be just the other way, isn't it?
Yes, it surprised me, Harry. I thought there was something. I thought we were going to see a war tonight, but 6 rounds gone. Bomber is won 6 rounds by a mile. I don't think the other fellow's got a chance of catching up, but you never know. This is boxing. One punch can finish the fight. But really, Kalule is absolutely 100% made to order for Bomber Graham. He's just playing right into Bomber's hands all the time. You can see here.
He must be a frustrating man to box. He's never there when you want him, is he?
Well, I had him for sparring, and he leans back, and he's very, very long, and he's very, very awkward. And he makes you, if you're a good fighter, he makes you look bad. But he's doing everything right at the moment. He's jabbing, he's boxing well, and he's punching very, very hard.
Well, I can tell you this City Hall in Sheffield will erupt with joy if Graham takes this title tonight. They've seen him in a few good fights. They've seen him win titles here, but this will be the supreme one tonight. But there's still some way to go, and one must keep injecting a note of caution. Kalule is an old campaigner. He might yet have a surprise or two left. It's an amazing thought that I saw Kalule win a gold medal in the Commonwealth Games 12 years ago. That was in Christchurch, New Zealand. And that was, he was a lightweight in those days. 9 stone 7. Now he's 2 stone heavier. Well, there's one man in that ring having an easier time than Herol Graham, and that's the referee. He's not been seen. There's a mark underneath the left eye of Herol Graham. I don't know whether he's got a slight nick there, but there's certainly a mark. But it's underneath the eye, so it's none too dangerous. He's certainly nicked under the left eye. So that's the first little ominous sign for Graham. Boxing getting just a little bit ragged now, Graham. He may be disturbed about that. He can feel that injury on his face. And that might just have disturbed his concentration. The rhythm has suddenly left him. Well, they'll certainly be quick to tell him in the corner that it's nothing serious, and it isn't. And Graham quite quick to break it off and go back for repairs, but those repairs are minor. It is only a nick, and it's under the left eye, and it shouldn't bother him. Nothing too much to worry about there, Alan.
No, the thing is, though, with some fighters, Harry, when they're boxing well, they get a slight cut and they go to pieces. Now, in that round, Graham definitely went. His boxing ability went, and he started slowing down very, very rapidly. I mean, when I used to box and get cut, but you know you're cut, you get on with your work and get on with it as good as you can. But he definitely went, so they're going to say in the corner that it's not bad, Bomber. Just go out and do your work, and I think you'll see a different Bomber in this next round, hopefully. But he can't afford to slacken off.
He certainly seemed to lose concentration and rhythm, didn't he? That went out of his boxing stuff.
That definitely when I suppose he felt the blood trickling down, and he thought, oh, am I cut bad? You know, and it sort of disheartened him. But I think he's okay.
Well, he's come straight back into it. course, the other side of it is that it puts a bit of new heart into Kalule. But I would have thought at this point, Kalule's got to knock him out to win. The cut is bleeding again slightly. Looking a little worse, actually, than it was in the previous round. And he won't be so keen to take chances. But Kalule so far hasn't really shown any great signs of imposing himself on Graham. Never has. He's been plodding around this ring, always in the centre of it. And Graham's had the outside of the ring, moving around him. And there's hardly been a moment when Kalule's really landed a punch which you felt might change the course of the contest. Well, some good men have held the European middleweight title, including the friend on my right, Mr. Minter, and people like Tony Simpson, Kevin Finnegan, Bunny Sterling, John McCormick, and Randolph Turpin, of course, the great Turpin. All of those post-war British holders of this title. And way back in past boxing history, the great Ted Kid Lewis held this title. And the first man to hold it was the Frenchman Georges Carpentier. Well, this has been very much a cruising round for Graham. He's feeling his way back into it again. Done most of the scoring. The bleeding seems to have stopped. Much less decision about Graham's punching now. He's just poking the right hand out. He's not punching with it. He's got a long lead, but he can't afford to mess about. He did very little there, Graham, except just try to keep the man out of range. Really just tip-tapping. I would think that's the least decisive round that Bomber's had from the start. But a long, long lead, surely. Well, it looks to me as though he's got a second cut. And this one is above the eye. Now, yeah. That is a good deal more dangerous. And I did not see that cut there. There was more blood coming about, but I assumed it was coming from the cut underneath, or perhaps it was coming from the new one above. So that is not good news. A cut above the left eye. Alan, that's a little disturbing.
A man that's not being used to getting cut and now having two, it's a big handicap. It'll probably worry him. But they've got to tell Bomber that you're okay, Bomber, because go out, it's the European title we're after, forget the cuts. And just see what he can do. But he's a mile ahead at the moment.
4 rounds to go. The hall has gone very quiet. They've seen the cuts, holding their breath now, hoping that it's not going to get any worse. Kalule has an almighty task ahead of him still. Graham bleeding from the mouth now. So Kalule is getting 1 or 2 punches through. He may not look much from here, but he's certainly getting them through and cutting the man up. So there is now a sudden change in the course of the contest. And Graham is a bit under pressure and he responds well. He suddenly got a premonition. He felt the fight might be turning against him, and he suddenly pulled the punches out. And that's put him back in command. Bleeding from nose and mouth, Graham. Kalule a good deal more dangerous now than he was before. Very. The rounds are getting closer. Where all these cuts have been caused by punches, there's never been a clash of heads at any time. Well, we've seen a measure of the danger of Kalule. He didn't seem to be doing very much, but suddenly one cut appears, then a second cut, and then the nose and the mouth are damaged. So very quietly, but very efficiently, Kalule was beginning to work Graham over a bit around the face, and Graham knew it, and suddenly took matters into his own hands, stood his ground, and began to throw a lot of very good punches together. We can see that again. He suddenly unleashed this tremendous combination attack, and it had the effect of halting the dangerous work that Kalule was doing. Suddenly, Graham got back in charge.
And another thing, Harry, Bomber Graham had to have that flurry then, because in that particular round he was definitely getting demoralised. His boxing ability was going. He was a bit slap happy, but he put them few punches together, which brought him back into the fight. Although he's well ahead, he was definitely getting demoralised, but he's back into the fight again.
Well, Kalule must know that he's got a lot to do. So, with 3 rounds left, the champion is bound to come out now and try to do some work. But he is 32. How much has he got left, Kalule? Graham looks fresh physically, but mentally, you do begin to wonder occasionally. Kalule working very hard to try and corner him. Kalule wants one really good shot at Graham's chin. You can see him looking for it. Putting together good punches, keeping it in under control neatly. Masterly bit of boxing. Oh, he's got him going. This might be the end of Kalule's reign. round 10. I think it's all over. It is all over, and Graham is the champion, and the whole of Sheffield celebrate. What a moment that was. The whole fight, which had been fought in a low key for most of the way, suddenly exploded into riotous action, and Kalule couldn't take any more. He was suddenly trapped in his own corner under heavy fire, and Bomber Graham at that moment became, at 26, the middleweight champion of Europe and a hot contender for the world title. Celebration in Sheffield. Let's look again at the way it finished, because these were tremendous moments for Graham. He'd been on the end of a bit of punishment for 2 rounds, worried, and then suddenly saw his chance, and he let everything go. There was nothing Kalule could do about it, except stagger along the rope, retreat to his own corner, and try to keep out of trouble, but he couldn't, and in went the referee. And at that point, Herol Graham won yet another title. Barney Eastwood and Brendan Ingle hoist him in the middle of the Sheffield ring to declare their joy. What a night for Graham. What a fighter this man is. He's certainly the cleverest boxer in Britain. And when he wants to, he can absolutely turn the heat on and destroy a man, as he's just done with Kalule, who's only ever previously been beaten by world champions. And we might be looking at a man who one day will be world champion.
And as Harry Carpenter heads into the ring to join those celebrations, word from you, Alan Minter, at ringside. A very, very impressive performance indeed from Herol Graham.
Very impressive. Very, very impressive, Steve. When I said he started getting a bit demoralised, he did in particular rounds, being cut over, 2 cuts over one eye, a bleeding mouth, a bleeding nose. But then he opened up in his particular round, and he done what he had to do, and he had too much power. He had too much power for Kalule. You can see now, uppercuts, left hands, right hands, throwing punches and catching him at will, and thought to himself, well, I'm not going to let that guy get off the hook this time, and just opened up and finished him. But yeah, very impressive.
He's going to be talking very bravely now about a World Championship shot as soon as he gets the chance. Did you see World Championship class in there tonight?
Well, the thing is with Herol, you can see World Championship class at times. When he's moving back and he's fiddling around and he's being a bit sloppy, it looks absolutely terrible. But when he comes forward and puts his punches together, he hurts opponents, and he looks class material, doesn't he? But for him to get a world title fight, he's got to fight the same way as he did in that last round. He's got to knuckle down and have a complete go and show people that he's the true European champion.
Right, Alan, I think Harry is with the new champion.
Okay. I might have looked tired, but I definitely wasn't. I was really enjoying every round of it.
Well, you made such a wonderful start. I mean, you took the first 6 rounds, to my reckoning.
Yeah, well, I had to take it cage it first, because I know the guy is Box Sugar Ray, Mike McCallum, all the good guys, so I had to take it easy. And when I had him going, I didn't want to let go.
No, he gave you a couple of cuts, didn't he? One under and one over the left eye.
Yeah, he caught me with the right hand over. It's my fault. I had my hands down. I was told to keep my hands up, but I just got the nick on the left eye.
We got the impression that at that point you began to look a little bit worried. You sort of lost your rhythm.
Yeah, I lost my rhythm slightly because he's coming on to me a bit, and I thought he was getting stronger. When I got back to the corner, they says, "Come on, you're winning. What's wrong with you?" And all I had to do is stand on my feet and move out the way and keep him on the left hand. Right.
We might be able to show you how you finished it. Would you like to have a look at it?
Yeah, definitely.
Here you are. This is the finish.
Right hand, left hand over, right hand again. I seen him going, so I just carried on jabbing to feel him out, to get that left hand over. He went over to the far corner then, and I said to myself, that's it, no way he's going to carry on. So I just pinned him to the ropes there, and then the ref intervened and gave me a European Championship.
Only world champions had beaten him before.
Yeah, well, that's right. I'm going to be a world champion. You said it.
That's wonderful. Barney, oh, sorry, he's talking.
Herol?
I was going to get back. Barney, you're managing Herol Graham now. Tell us what the chances are of getting a world title fight for him.
Well, on tonight's performances, I think he was so exciting and he was so brilliant. I mean, when have we ever seen a British boxer can box like this guy? He can box going forward, he can box going back. I think it was magic. And, you know, it'll be a real shame if we can't get him a world title fight.
Right.
I think it's on the cards, a world title fight within the next 12 months, 15 months.
Well, you can hear what Sheffield think about it, Barney.
Oh,
Wonderful.
they're all delighted. It's
Anyway,
wonderful.
congratulations to you and certainly to Herol. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Yes, congratulations to Herol Graham, the new European middleweight champion, and maybe a world champion very soon.